DC gets that extension. Super Bowl window officially open. Let's talk about it, man.
Just stay locked in from start to finish, bro. Don't overthink anything, bro. We're living in the moment. We put in too much work, bro. Have fun today. Let's go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go.
What is good? What is good? What is good? What is good? I am here. I am here to give my piece, my thoughts and everything about this going on, man. Shout out to everybody who's already in the building, man. And thank you for all the people, over 1,000 you guys already viewed the video I dropped early in the morning. So shout out to you guys. Dropped that one right before I went to work. But listen, I am here. We are going to talk about this contract extension. We are going to talk about the details because thankfully I had a whole day to work. So I'm getting all the details. I'm not doing anything too premature. And we are here to talk about it. And shout out to everybody. We already got over 60 of you guys in the building. Shout out to everybody who already commented. We got Renata. We got Raider Nation. Kenny was good. Blue King, Swin, stay focused. Omar, Brandon, Balboa was popping. EC was good. Who else? We got Desert TV, Big Lou, Can't Stop, Anthony, Joey, Omar again, Ben Bad, Derek Vehicle. B Latina, shout out to Latina in the building, the Lone Raider, James in the building. Shout out to everybody here. But listen, James, Raiders. I had to, James. James threw it down in the chat. I had to do it, man. That's how I'm feeling. I am excited, dog. I am fucking excited. Shout out to DeMarcus. We got the bearded Big Pern, Linnell. Everybody's in the building, man. Shout out to everybody who's already in here. And listen, the Raiders, we have extended quarterback Derek Carr for a 3-year extension, totaling at $121.5 million. Now, let's get into this, right? Because everybody's looking at the total like, hold on, that's $40 million a year. Hold on, that's Russell Wilson, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. This is their money. What is DC doing? Well, let's get into the details, right? Because like I said, we had a whole day. We had a whole day to look at these details, and they have came out. Shout out to Uncharted in the building, and Aaron was good. But listen, for everybody, I hope as many of you guys that are at home got a DC on because he deserves it. Shout out to DC. He got his extension. But we are here, man. We are here to talk about it. And let's get straight into it, matter of fact. Let's get straight into it. So, for those of you guys who are wondering, Derek Carr's contract, these are the official details. They have just came out. His official contract, as you can hear him say in his press conference, he said that his cap hit this year dropped. And he's not lying. Before the extension, Derek Carr's cap hit was $19.8 million. Now with the official contract details, his cap hit for this season is $19.3 million with $24.8 million in dead cap. We're not going to do anything with Derek Carr this year. He is our quarterback, so that $24 million in dead cap, it ain't going nowhere. It's not going to be affecting us at all. He is here for this season. Now, 2023, it goes up to $34.8 million with $5.6 million. Now, shout out to my brother in here, Ben Bad. He says Sanjeet said it was a 1-year deal according to Greer. And this is why there's been many people saying that the Derek Carr extension is really kind of like a 1-year deal. Now, look, this extension has very, very, very big ties with the Devontae extension because in 2022, which is this year, it's $19 million. In 2023, which is next year, it's $34 million. And in 2024, it reaches $43 million. So there's going to be 3 years of football, 3 years of more extensions that happen, 3 years of more quarterbacks that get paid. And just in 3 years, that's when Derek Carr hits that $40 million threshold. Now, as we all remember, when we got Devontae Adams, it was a 5-year deal, but 3 of them was really what the money was looking at, right? The 2 years in 2025 and 2026 was very, very low. It was very, very low in terms of we don't have any dead cap. We can move on or we can extend them, right? So with this money being $24.8 million in dead cap, I believe the whole thing is he gets $40 million in guaranteed bread after this year's Super Bowl, which will probably be in. Now I'm playing. We'll see. We'll see, right? But look, a lot of people like, oh my God, $40 million. No, it's 19.3, 34.8. And as we all know, when that dead cap is 3.7, 1.8, Derek Carr said, you know what? I understand the game that we're playing here. And at $3.7 million in dead cap, $1.8 million in dead cap in my final 2 years of this extension, I'm going to ask you, can I have my no trade clause? Because guess what? I would love to know if I'm being traded and where. So that's why you saw Derek Carr get that no trade clause, because in this first year, there's $24.8 million of dead cap that we're not going to see, like, that's not going to be against us because he'll play for us. That dead cap is only if we are to release him. So he only had $24.8 million at the beginning, $7.5 million at signing. That is nothing. That is nothing for Derek Carr, man. You guys have to give it up yet again. Dave Ziegler and Champ Kelly have knocked the contract out of the park, man. It is absolutely amazing the way that Dave Ziegler, Champ Kelly, and Josh McDaniels have really been able to construct these contracts, right? And one really big thing there is to mention, Derek Carr in his press conference, he said that, look, my family's good. We can go here and we'll be good. But I want to win, and I don't want to go through the same heartbreak that I went with Khalil Mack. He was the only one that went through that heartbreak. We all went through that. But it's very, 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 very good to be able to hear your quarterback come out and say, listen, I want to do this for the team because I want to win. If you guys look at this, who does this sound like? Who does this sound like? A quarterback that took less money than what he should have earned, and he allowed the team to build, or he allowed the organization to build around him. Who does that sound like? Tom Brady. Tom Brady did that for many, 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 many years. Tom Brady wanted legacy. He wanted everything. So guess what? That's what Derek Carr is trying to do. And let me tell you this, you guys. If there's ever a Super Bowl window, it's this 3 years. It is these 3 years. And the reason why I say that is because you got $19 million against the cap this year. You got 34 against the cap next year. And then you got 40 in 2024. And guess what? When Derek Carr gets that $40 million, that's the last cheap year of Devontae's contract that we got. So in 2024, you got 3 years to work this out. We got 3 years to go out and get that fourth Super Bowl ring, man. We got to bring it back, man. We got to bring it back. We need a Super Bowl in Oakland, Vegas, and LA. Right now, we're missing the one in Vegas. We need one, man. We need one. At least one in each place that we are at. Shout out to Omar. He says, Zig and Champs doing GOAT moves. Nation stand up. Simple as that, man. As simple as that. And look, not only did he take a team-friendly deal, really the only guaranteed bread is if he gets injured. He has over $60 million guaranteed as an injury settlement. So if he gets injured, he gets hurt, he's getting paid. But I can respect that Dave Ziegler and Champ Kelly decided to construct his contract like that because, that's fair, right? You can't control these injuries. So if he gets hurt, he's still going to get paid, which essentially isn't the greatest for the team, but it's very, very respectable man to man. I get that. I would want to have contracts done like that for me, especially if I'm a free agent, right? From a free agent, I would love to come to a team that's willing to do that. And really, that's it. That's really when his contract gets interesting, is if he gets injured, then he has over $65 million in guaranteed money if he's injured. So that injury clause that he has, that no trade clause, that's really the only tricky part about this contract. But besides that, Dave Ziegler, Champ Kelly, they have knocked it out the park yet again. Yet again, man. Listen, my guy Pancho says, do you think we can get that ring? Listen, I will tell you this. If the Raiders can go out and get themselves a starting safety in this year's draft, a developmental corner or linebacker in this year's draft, and maybe one or two starters, we're gonna be competing for that ring, man. Because if I'm gonna be completely honest to you, my man. There is no other team in the NFL right now. Maybe the Chargers, maybe the Rams that have as much firepower as we do on offense. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. Simple as that. He's basically guaranteed 2 years, $59 million. Year 3 and 4 can be restructured to free up cap space by converting salary to signing bonus, extending him again. Exactly. Exactly. This is why. And EC, we did the exact same thing with Devontae Adams. In year 4 and 5, you could do the same thing with Devontae. It's just that DC didn't get as big of an extension. That's all it is. Shout out to Pancho again. He says, we look good on paper. Now what? Our O-line is the point. If we can protect him, we still need a right tackle for sure. For sure, you need a right tackle. For sure. If you want to go out and free that up in free agency, you have Darrell Williams, who's still on the market in free agency. Outside of that, I really don't see a true starter in free agency. Maybe you can say that Quessenberry could work, but I think that he's a guy that's, he's more of a top end swing tackle that'll be backup. But when someone goes down, he can come in. But I definitely think we need a right tackle. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of competition for that spot in camp. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Van City, no. And I'm glad that you asked this question, because a lot of people have been saying this, right? Does the deal free up cap space? It does not free up the $19 million that we were all hoping for. It frees up maybe like $600K because his cap hit is lower. It frees up actually, I think, about $500K. It frees up about $500K, Van City, but it does not clear up the $19 million that people were hoping for. Now, the reason is because we did the same thing with Max Crosby. Now, with Max Crosby, the Raiders had the opportunity of clearing up and converting his base salary into a signing bonus, which could have freed up around $4 million for Max Crosby. But instead, what we did is that we gave Max Crosby a $2.6 million raise for this season, and it then ended up having his average for the rest of his years on his contract being lower. So by us giving Derek Carr a $5 million raise on his new deal, it actually takes the average down. So it does not free up the $19 million that we were all hoping for. But at the end of the day, it does not put us in this cap hell situation that we see other teams in, right? Like the reason why, you see like the Chiefs, and you're going to see, teams like the Green Bay Packers not be able to bring in so much is because the contracts aren't really as great. But Dave Ziegler, McDaniels, Champ Kelly have really constructed a lot of good contracts here, and there's just there's just a lot of things to be excited for going forward. Anthony says, he said if he wasn't a Raider, he'd be on that golf course wearing that silver and black. Bro, he has been extremely loyal to this team. There's no other person right now that has showed that much loyalty to the silver and black than maybe like Charles Woodson or something like that. Nobody else is showing that much loyalty to the team, bro. Nobody. He said, what else we got? He says, all the good managers are manipulating in the money order to save up cap space. Exactly, Alex, for sure. A lot of people said it does free up the 19. It does not. It does not. His salary was not converted into a roster bonus. Mark Davis did not give him $19.8 million up front. He did not do that. His contract really only saves like $500,000. Nothing too crazy. Shout out to Queen in the chat. How you doing, Queen? We got Omar. He says, so now we only looking at just under 30 mil cap post June. Not really, bro. Not really, because it's a little bit different, right? Spot track is really weird. Spot track is really weird with the way that they got it. But right now, Spot track has the Raiders at around like $20 million, $27 million over the cap. So really, we don't have much money to work with post June. We got to make sure that we have enough people to, or enough money, I'm sorry, to sign your draft and all the guys that you bring in. But we don't really have too much money to work with as of now, but you can definitely make up some bread for sure. You can definitely make up some bread. Last time I checked, when we signed Corey Littleton, he reworked his contract that same offseason. Simple as that. Frank, where you been? It's been a while. Let's see. His press conference is going to attract more players to our organization. I hope so, Big Lou, for sure, for sure. And here's what I'll say: each time you have an organization that's willing to work around a player, that's willing to build around a player, in my opinion, that has to attract free agents. And another thing that I will say is, with these veterans, right? With the Akeem Hicks, with the Linval Josephs, the Tyrann Matthews, the Stephon Gilmores, right? These guys that are on the later end of their careers, when you see that a team is very, very big on pleasing the player and is big on wanting to have the player in the best position to succeed, it's attractive to these veterans that don't really have many years left on the NFL field. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens in terms of bringing in new free agents, but we'll have to see how work out other positions. Like, in my opinion, the nose tackle is a big position to look at. Um, I'm really not that confident in the right tackle position. But with that being said, there is another thing that happened earlier on today, and that's that Denzel Good has passed his physical and is nearly back to 100% in terms of strength, agility, all that kind of stuff. So Denzel Good passing his physical today with the Las Vegas Raiders is a huge, huge plus in my opinion. That is huge. And on top of that, it's looking like he will be competing with John Simpson for that left guard spot. Now, I'm very, very excited for that. They are expecting him to be fully healthy by training camp. And like I said, they're expecting him to be able to compete for that starting left guard position. So we'll see. We will see when it comes to that, because a lot of people have been, talking about, we need a guard, we need a tackle. Well, guess what? Denzel Good passing his physical today is the beginning of shoring up that guard for sure. And as we all know, with Alex Leatherwood getting a chance to revisit a position at the right tackle spot, you never know. Maybe you can get him to really play that right tackle position at a high level that you thought you were going to get out of drafting him in the first round. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Total love for Derek Carr. That's how it should be, man. That's how it should be. He's only been showing us more and more love. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I hope that he gets to be here for many more years than just these 3 little years that he's getting extended for. If there's ever a time that I would want Derek Carr to be here, it's like, look, when it gets to the time that Derek Carr may be like past his prime or some shit like that, I would love for him to just be here and like be the backup or some shit. Like truly retire a Raider. Like you do your entire career, you go as gaining that starting role, being that starter for many, many years, and then he goes out and he ends it off with being a backup to some new young kid one day. That'd be dope. Uncharted says, you think the long he says, I think the longest Raider was Janikowski was 17 years. DC would need 8 more years to catch that. I'm not sure if he got 8 more years. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Let's see. Seabass. Let's see. Seabass on my Mount Rushmore of jerseys of my bad of Raider players, just because during my time as a fan, he was the reason we won games for sure. Most definitely. He says, Andy, let us see the Raiders shades before you pack them up for Vegas. Let me go grab them, man. I'll go grab them just because my brother Anthony said, let's check out them Raider shades, man. Hey, and how'd you know I was going to start packing? How'd you know that I was going to start packing again, man? Shout out to my brother Anthony, man. We got the Raider joints. If you cannot see, There's the Raider logo right there on the bottom of the shades. The Raider logo is also right there of the shades. And what other better frame than a silver and black frame? You feel me? Come on, man. Shout out to Anthony for the fantastic idea. You feel me? Shout out to Anthony. This is DC's last contract. He retires after this. Man, that would suck. I ain't gonna lie, but I could definitely see that happen for sure. Once a Raider, always a Raider, but that's always applied to Derek Carr. Even for the haters, bro. Even for the haters, this is always applied to Derek Carr, without a doubt. Like, if you fucking hate Derek Carr, first of all, you're delusional. But second of all, you can't, even if you don't like Derek Carr, the man is number one on every statistical category of any Raider quarterback almost ever besides, a Super Bowl. But bro, that dude's a baller, man. That dude's a baller. Shouts my guy Umar says, sheesh. My guy Big Raider says, we still need a deep threat receiver and an offensive tackle in the draft. Well, look, I know a lot of you guys may not be the biggest fans on Tyron Johnson. I understand Tyron Johnson was part of the old regime, Gus Bradley guy, all that kind of stuff. But I think that he could be a possible deep threat. If not, Deshaun Jackson is still there. Shout to me and Wasted. We went back and forth about a Tyquan Thornton maybe in the 5th or 6th round. You could look at that. That's a deep threat for sure. There's guys like John Ross's out there in the market. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But surrounding Derek Carr with as many weapons as possible, I'm all for it. I am all for it. And funny thing enough is, out of all the guys the DC mentioned, right? Out of all the guys that DC mentioned in today's press conference, he talked about Renfro, Waller, Devontae, Foster. He talked about all these guys, right? He says, but the happiest person in the room with all these new weapons should be Josh Jacobs. That's a fact, man. But personally, I think Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake are going to have phenomenal years. I think that Kenyon Drake might have the bigger year in terms of stats, but bro, that's a fact. Having all these guys, pass catchers, taking off attention, it'll be very, very interesting to see how well our run game does. Armando says, hold on. He says, what's good, Andy? How's it going? What's your thoughts on the signing? A little late, but trying not to miss the shows. Appreciate you, Armando. But look, at the end, DeMarcus Robinson. Exactly, Freight. Exactly. But look, my thoughts on it, phenomenal. You're getting him on a $35 million on average deal. Great contract. The way that it's constructed is great, team friendly, allows us to still build around Derek Carr this year, next year, and in 2024 it might be a little bit more difficult, but you can still work around that. On top of that, you have now locked in your quarterback of the future for 3 years, and really 4 years, and now you have a Super Bowl window because you have Derek Carr under contract. You have Darren Waller under contract. Who knows? His situation might get a little tricky, but you got Darren Waller under contract. You got Devontae for 5 years. You hope to get an extension with Renfro done soon. You hope to get an extension with Josh Jacobs maybe soon. So we'll see a lot of stuff happen very, very soon. And I always said this when I was talking about Hunter Renfro as an extension or Derek Carr as an extension. They moved the needle for both of them. They moved the needle for each other. So Derek Carr getting his extension, I think that it'll be easier in terms of Hunter Renfro negotiating with his agent on getting his deal done, right? Hunter Renfro knowing that he has his guy for another 4 years, I think that it'll be much easier for Hunter Renfro to sign on the dotted line and put himself and become a Raider for longer than just this season, right? So I hope that we can get that done. I really don't want Renfro to hit the open market. I think that he'd have a huge market, especially after fucking Christian Kirk's ass just fucked the whole game up in terms of slot receivers. So I want that to get done soon, for sure. Jacobs will have a great year this upcoming season. I agree. Shout out to Jacobs. He should have a great season. There's a lot of pieces around him. There should be no reason why this entire offense doesn't have a lot of success. So we'll definitely be be a scary offense to face for sure. Yo was good. Salute Farrell. Shout out to Farrell in the building. I forgot that he rebranded and put that little logo. Shout out to Farrell in the building, my guy. Let's see. Hi, Andy. Are the Raiders still trying to get Gilmore or the Honey Badger? As of today, the only thing that I know about Gilmore is that he actually had a private jet flown to him from Indianapolis to go get a visit to Indianapolis. So, in terms of Stephon Gilmore, the only news is that he took his ass to Indianapolis for a visit. And in terms of the Honey Badger, the Steelers and the Eagles are the two teams that have been in contact with him the most. So we'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes down. But today is not about Renfro or Gilmore. Today is about Derek Carr, man. I am extremely, extremely excited, bro. Let's see. Shout out to Code. He says, do you think that Ziegler will look for more Renfro, Welker, Edelmans of players to rotate in? Does Dylan Stoner have that type of potential? I don't like Dylan Stoner. I don't know I don't know if it's his name. I don't know what the hell, but in terms of Dylan Stoner, I don't think he's a good football player. Like, simple as that. I don't like Dylan Stoner. I don't understand why DJ Turner didn't get the nod above Dylan Stoner last season. I'm a big DJ Turner guy. I'm not a big Dylan Stoner guy. That's just me being honest. Like his fucking name is cool, I guess, but him as a football player, I just don't like it. Um, do I think that Ziegler will look at him as that way? No. He doesn't really fit it. He's like fucking 6'3" or some shit. Last time I seen a 6'3" slot receiver was who? Who was the last 6'3" slot receiver? Cooper Kupp? Like, nah, bruh. He says, I highly doubt they make any moves now that $19 million was not freed up. Listen, at the end of the day, them not freeing up $19 million is the reason why his cap hit is lower these next few years. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that for sure. Raphael says, Andy, was good? What's good with you? Raphael was popping. IV says, yo, Andy, for a 3-4 defense, is an edge rusher more important than the interior pressure? I just wonder because of who they brought in for the interior that don't really have much pass rush. In my opinion, when it comes down to a 3-4 defense, at the end of the day, whether it's 3-4, 4-3, 5-2, whatever the fuck you want to put out there, you want to make sure that your interior defensive linemen push the pocket. Whether it's getting sacks, whether it's controlling the line of scrimmage and not allowing them to get blown off the snap and get blown off the line of scrimmage. At the end of the day, you want them to put pressure. And when it comes down to our nose tackles, I don't have confidence in any one of our nose tackles in terms of pushing the pocket on pass downs. I know that Jonathan Hankins is a good starter. He's been with us for many years. I know that he can play that nose tackle position. Do I think that edge rushers are more important? Not really. I don't think so. I think that you should definitely go out and put a good interior in place for any of them, because at the end of the day, if Max Crosby and Chandler Jones are getting all the pressure on the outside, but fucking Bilal Nichols and I don't know, Jonathan Hankins can't get any pressure on the inside, then Mahomes is just gonna run up the middle, So with no spy, you're gonna get killed that way. But do I think that one's more important than the other? No. I think that you need to have overall balance. I think that you can get away with having average pass rushing up the middle and elite on the outside than elite up the middle and average on the outside. But it's kind of tough, right? Because, it's all different. It's really just all different. Big Jersey says defensive tackle John Ridgeway. What about him? Because I like John Ridgeway. He's a guy he can, you know, he can serve basically on any NFL team due to his height and weight. He should be able to translate to the NFL, but to me, outside of his height, which is like 6'7", I don't think that he really possesses any above average traits that'll translate into the NFL. I don't think that he's an above average run stopper or pass rusher. Would I like him? Yes, I would. So we'll see. But if you're asking him to push the pocket, I really think that, you know, what's his name out of Connecticut, Travis Jones was the best at doing that, bullying the opposing team center, pushing him into the lap of the quarterback. I think that that was the best person in the draft to do it. Um, I think at this point, what the Raiders should be looking for in the draft, if you're looking at defensive tackles, is purely a disgusting, mean run stopper that is just not going to allow anything up the middle. I don't think that John Ridgeway can do that, but go get John Ridgeway. Honestly, like he could be molded into something, right? Give him 2 years, let him work out his frame in the NFL, and we'll see. Jordy Nelson was the last 6'3" slot receiver. Jordy Nelson wasn't. I thought he was on the outside. I swear Jordy Nelson was on the outside. Dang, I could be tripping though. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? When it comes to these defensive tackles, I'm not really too big on any of them. Shout out to Graf. I know he put a lot of us on game with Noah Ellis. I think he's a good serviceable defensive tackle. But we'll see. We'll see for sure. We'll definitely see. Reddit Gabe says, "What up, my guy? What's popping?" Shout out to Reddit Gabe, man. Put on a great show the other night. I was in there talking about movies and shit. That was funny. We we don't have that in draft this year. I mean, I think that you could find it. It's really hard though to judge where we're standing, right? Because where we're standing, you can potentially get an Alabama product in Fedarian Mathis. Fedarian Mathis could be there at pick 86. I believe he had 11 and a half sacks in his entire career over there in Alabama. So not really like the greatest production, but at the end of the day, you want to put a lot of pieces on the defense that can complement Derek Carr on the offense, right? Derek Carr, he has a high-powered offense, maybe needs some more help in the trenches, but you want your offense to complement your defense. And except like both it goes both ways. You want your offense to complement your defense to complement the offense. It goes both ways when you're talking about that. And at the end of the day, I mean, Fedarian Mathis is a guy that's kind of went a lot of people's radars just because, you have the Perion Winfreys, the Travis Jones, the Devontae Wyatts, the Jordan Davis in this year's draft, to where it's like, we'll see. We'll see. If Mathis is there at 86, then we would be extremely lucky. I agree. Cesar says, salute Andy. Need a right tackle, left guard. The offense will not fully hit its strength without addressing. I'm not too sure about that, honestly, because do I think that the Bengals could have been an even more fucking high-powered offense if they had an offensive line? Yes. But at the same time, the Bengals still made it to the Super Bowl. Like, and I understand the Bengals lost because their fucking offensive lineman kind of just got his ass beat. But at the end of the day, it's like it was against Aaron Donald, the most dominant defensive lineman in the NFL right now. So the Bengals have put up a blueprint that if you have enough skilled positions and weapons and a great play caller, you can go far even having holes on the offensive line. Now, do they have a Carmen Brasillo? No, they do not have a Carmen Brasillo on their offensive line. So with us having probably one of the top end lineman coaches on our staff, I think it helps us a lot. And for the Raiders, in this entire process, we have only went out and met with one offensive lineman for a top 30 visit. This shows me that the Raiders not only have confidence in Derek Carr under pressure, but they have confidence in their staff's ability in developing talent and maximizing these people that are on the roster already. So when you go out and the only person that you meet with is Jamari Salyer on the offensive line and a couple of offensive linemen in free agency that you did not get, it shows that they are pretty confident in what's in the building already, whether it's on the roster or on the coaching staff. They're confident with what's in the building already. We may not be as fans, but that's why I brought up the news today about Denzel Good. Denzel Good passed his physical today. He's almost at 100% strength on all aspects of his game. He's expected to be fully healthy by training camp, and he will compete for that starting left guard position with John Simpson, right? So we'll see a lot of things get done in the near future. At this point, you have your quarterback locked in, you have your receiver locked in, you have a lot of these pieces just ready to go. Right now, the Raiders need to be focused on killing this draft, knocking it out the park, and having a very, 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 very good offseason. And right now, it's starting off really good. The official number for the last 2 days of offseason training workouts for the OTAs, the official number is 98% attendance. That is 8% out of 63 people on the roster. I think that's just missing what, two people or one person? So that's very, very good. That is very, very good. So to see that, it's a lot of confidence, right? That we have 98% attendance in voluntary workouts, and I mean, Derek Carr said it all throughout his presser today. It doesn't equate to wins, but it does mean, that continuity, that family, that bond, all that good stuff that you want to take into going into that field, going to battle with your brothers. You want to be with them as much as possible, right? So that's very, very exciting to see that for sure. Shout out to Mana. He says, now all we need to do is sign Stephon Gilmore, Darrell Williams, and Sheldon Richardson. That would be crazy. Holy shit, that'd be wild. Shout out to Leon, man. Always showing love to the channel. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see. Panchi says, but shouldn't that be the blueprint all the time? Have your skill positions and you're not so great, players in the second string. Yes and no, right? Because you saw the Browns. Their strength is the offensive line, but they still had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, and then they brought in Austin Hooper, and they brought in some good players, right? So overall, you're gonna have some holes on any NFL franchise. You're gonna have holes due to the fact of there's that salary cap. You can't pay everybody, so you're gonna have holes. But at the same time, where does it look like what position can you get away with not either having as much depth or not having as much talent, or hope that your offensive staff and your defensive staff can maximize the potential of every single player? That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. He says, I'm with that. I'm still not sold on Brandon Parker protecting Carr from the right side, but he may surprise me this season. Listen, I don't think anybody in here, out of the 200 people in the room right now, are sold on Brandon Parker. But what I am sold on is the resume of Josh McDaniels and Carmen Brasillo. So if they are telling me that they are confident in what they see in this room, in this offensive line room, and they're saying, okay, we feel like we have the guy in here. We just need to see them compete for the next 4 months heading into the season. We need to see these guys compete, how they come to practice every day, how do they organize themselves, what is their work ethic like, what are they willing to do to rate, and what are they willing to be to take the next step in their career. So that's what I feel like we need to see with Brandon Parker. Hopefully Leatherwood can bounce back to the outside. That would be amazing, because then you're getting, then you're really getting what you drafted with Alex Leatherwood, right? You're getting a guy that you drafted to play tackle, and he had some hiccups, so you moved to guard. But then you get him, and you actually, you're able to move him back to the right tackle where you were supposed to have him at. So that would be very, very good. Ultimately, I think that Alex Leatherwood will end up just playing guard. I would love for him to play right tackle if he does, have a very good camp. But ultimately, I want him to play guard. I think that he can be, I don't want to say an elite offensive guard, because what he showed last year, he definitely flashed his traits, but he also flashed inconsistency, lack of discipline, and he showed other stuff as well. But he has the traits, he has the tangibles, and he has everything he needs to be successful in the NFL. And bringing Carmen Basillo, it'll definitely help him. Definitely help him. Leon, I'm not sure really because it sounded like McDaniels wanted to allow him to go back and compete, right? So we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see in the near future. But it's exciting times, man. Having your quarterback locked in for many years, or yeah, many years. Having your quarterback locked in for the next 4 seasons. On top of that, 3 of the seasons are very team friendly, and you can get out of the contract if you want to. You can also extend and add on top of the contract if you want to, if he's still playing at the high level. It's a lot to be excited for. And again, with Denzel Good passing his physical, that is music to my ears, man. I am hoping that he can and will compete and end up being that starter at that left guard position. But I also have a lot of faith in John Simpson, man. I like John. Let's see. If Ziegler can nail the draft picks and at least one undrafted guy, the depth at D line, linebacker, and O line should be good. Not sure if they will be able to get the deep ball threat wide receiver. I mean, the only deep ball threat wide receiver that I think that we would be able to draft is two guys, is Wan'Dale Robinson and Tyquan Thornton. Those are the only two speedsters that I think that you'd be able to actually have a chance on drafting. Now, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's not as fast as Tyquan Thornton, but he's still fast. Like, he's still a 4.3 speedster. Tyquan Thornton has that unreal 4.2 speed. But in my opinion, Wan'Dale Robinson is the better player. Now, if you're going into the draft trying to get a wide receiver, I kind of think you're drafting wrong. But at the end of the day, if you are in the third round and for whatever the hell reason an Alec Pierce is on the board, I'm sorry, you might have to draft him. So it's tough. Any chances of Sky Moore falling? No, I don't think so, Omar. And the team that I actually think will draft him is Kansas City. Who's quicker? Um, I think that Wandell is quicker. I think that Tyquan Thornton, if you're asking Tyquan Thornton to run a post and you're asking Wandell Robinson to run a post, I think that Tyquan Thornton will be your guy. But it just depends, man. It just depends the scenario that you're putting these guys in. So we'll definitely have to see what the Raiders do. And talking about the draft, right now that I have 200 of you guys in here, I want all of you guys, if you can, if you're making a trip out to Vegas for the draft, please, I am asking you that you take the time to come spend some time with me, Graph, Wasted, Hammer, all of us, all of the Mount Shieldmore crew at the Ahern Hotel. We will all be there representing the nation, the silver and black, covering all draft news, the entire draft. We will be there at the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas at 300 West Sahara Boulevard. And if you haven't booked your hotel out there and you need a place to stay, there you can use the code WASTED and you can get 20% off for your rooms there at the Ahern Hotel if you would like to stay there. So please, if you are making the trip out there, spend some time with us and the Mount Shieldmore crew. We will greatly appreciate it, man. We also have a flag football game that Friday that we'd love to have as many of you guys there as possible. Family time, have a lot of fun with the nation. Shout out to Chef B. He says, did Incognito retire or is he still on the roster? I don't think that he officially retired, but Incognito only signed a 1-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, so Incognito is a free agent. I don't think that any team is going to take a chance on Incognito. 2 years now of injury history, 2 years of only getting older, right? He's going to be 40, I think, this year. So he's not on the roster. I don't think any team takes a chance on him. I think that, nature, I don't know how that saying goes, but the way that the world just smacked him in the face, I think his time is done. We'll see. Let's see. And shout out to Chef B again for the dono, man. Says they did you wrong on the Shieldmore pick. Nah, man, it's all good. I gave him that picture because if not, they were gonna do some fuck shit. Let's see. Boncho, appreciate you, my brother. He says, I'll be there. Appreciate you, mama. If is any of you are any of you guys in here going to go out to Vegas for the draft? If you are, let me know in the comments. I don't know. Drop a Raiders shield. Drop a one in the chat. Do that right now if you are going to Vegas for the draft. Raider Mike says Eagles are shopping Jalen Reagor. That's interesting, but personally, I don't think that right now we're in the market to be trading for anybody. You know, I don't think so. I don't think we're in that market to be trading for anybody, man. We need to focus on our roster at this point. Keep our head headed towards the draft, making sure that we kill that draft and we go out and we get maybe 2 starters out of the draft. I would love to go out and get 2 starters out the draft and, at the end of the day, leave with some more depth. I'd love to do that. AT says, man, y'all division is stacked. Our division is stacked. ATG, I'm not sure if you're a fan of a different team, but if you just like football in general, man, hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Raider Nation. Matter of fact, fuck whatever team you support. Join the Raider Nation, man. All the time caught up. Yeah, EJ, he's been playing at an extremely high level for all these years. Even in 2020, he was playing at a very high level. I believe he was regarded as one of the top, if not the top left guard when he was healthy. So we'll see. Rager for a 7th? Nah, man. Sup, Andy was good. Brad was popping. Rager is trash. Well, we'll see. You think we pick up a few UDFAs and who? It's interesting that you asked about that, Leon, because shout out to Raider Scout. He reported, I believe it was yesterday, Raider Scout reported that the Raiders had met with an old I forget his name. Let me pull it up so I don't give y'all some false info. Shout out to Raider Scout. Yeah, so the Raiders just yesterday decided to meet and hold a top 30 visit with Dean Leonard, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Right now, he's projected to be a 7th rounder, probably a UDFA. But what I will say, Leon, I think that we will be in the market for cornerbacks, whether it's in the draft or outside, as an undrafted free agent. That's what I think. Now, Fuller, a roid baby, that boy is roided up, man. That boy is roided up and still finds a way to get injured, man. Shit. I just, at this point, man, Patriots, just cut Nelson Aguilar and let him come back. Just let him come back at this point. Come on, Patriots, just cut the man Nelson Aguilar, let him come back to the Las Vegas Raiders. Simple as that. Mr. Raider, he says, "What's up, Andy? Pulling up. Shout out to my guy Raider Nation for pulling up, man." He says, "Let me see. You ain't got a man in your family if you say the Raiders are trash." Facts. Simple as that. Bruh, this dude's freaking profile name is funny. This guy. But listen, you guys. Overall, today, fantastic day in the Raider Nation. Fantastic day. You lock in your quarterback. You're learning that some of your offensive linemen are getting healthy, going to be at full strength. You learn that you have 98% attendance in voluntary offseason workouts. This is very, very good for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now we just need to put the work in, head into this offseason, head into this draft, full head of steam, no looking back. We're here to take over the AFC West. We're here to be on top once again, man. Salute Andy, salute the nation. Maybe Raider Gabe. Y'all be wilding with the profile pictures, dog. That shit is hilarious, bro. What the fuck? Whoa, shit. Gabe was probably loaded out of his fucking mind, dog. That's hilarious. Sending my love, nation. Shout out to Yvonne in the chat. Was good. He says, with Carr deal, so we get 20 mil low cap hit, then 20 more in June. No. So look, I don't know why. I don't know why so many people thought that the $20 million or the $19 million was set in stone for us to save. For the 230 you guys in here, the Raiders did not save $19 million by extending Derek Carr. The Raiders had the option of saving $19 million by extending Derek Carr. The reason why they did not save it is because they did not convert this year's salary into a signing bonus. And some of you guys may be like, well, why the hell did we not do that? And the reason is so that in the future, we're not crippled to Derek Carr's contract. We are not crippled to the fact that he is getting $40 million a year, this and that, the third, and we can't get out of his contract. Instead of saving that money this year, we're looking long term. We're talking about a Super Bowl window. We want to build a franchise that is going to compete not for 1 year, not for 2 years, but for 5, 6, 7 years, always being in that conversation of playoffs, AFC championships, Super Bowl contenders. So we did not do that. We did not save that $19 million, but we decided, you know what, we're going to bring his overall average down from his contract, and we will have this Super Bowl window with Derek Carr for these next 3-4 years, and he's going to be a Raider for them. So that's what it is. But the 20 more in June, we are still getting Leon, but I believe that over the cap has us at like $20 million in the negative. So right now, we don't really have much money to work with, but the full details, they'll all get wrinkled out soon. And we'll really see what we're working with in like the next day or two, right? Because last week people were saying we had $6 million, and then Jayon Brown's contract details, and then we had $8 million. So it's like we gotta wait for these details to fully develop, and then we'll see what we're really working with. Shout out to Daniel, says we're putting the league on notice and outwork everybody. Like DC said, facts. That's a fact. I'm really excited for this season. Our offense looks insane. Defense not that bad either. The defense has a lot of potential, bro. A lot of potential. Great day. Carr staying. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. Kenny says, Andy, what about our front seven? I think that our front seven is very okay. Well, let's go over, right? Let's go over it. You got Chandler Jones above average. You got Max Crosby above average. You got Bilal Nichols average. You got Jonathan Hankins average. So that's your 4 guys. And then your 3 linebackers, you got Divine Diablo, you got Denzel Perryman, and you got Jayon Brown. That is a good front 7. Now, when you are in your 3-4, it's going to look a little bit different, right? When you're in your 3-4, it'll probably look like Jayon Brown as an outside linebacker, Chandler Jones at the other outside linebacker, Max, Nichols, and Hankins. And then you have Perryman and Diablo playing your middle linebackers. So that's a good crew. That is very, very good. And the reason why I think it's good is because it's a lot of versatility that is held with that. Because you can easily say, you know what? Let me slow down my words. In a 3-4, if you want run stopping galore, you want to stop the Jonathan Taylors, you want to stop the Nick Chubbs, you want to stop the Derrick Henrys. What I feel like the Raiders should line up in when they're in their 3-4 is pretty simple. You go out and get Chandler Jones on your outside linebacker. The other outside linebacker is Jonathan Abram. Then your 3-4 defensive end is Max Crosby. Your other 3-4 defensive end is Cleveland Ferrell. Then in the middle, at that nose tackle position, you put Jonathan Hankins. Then your 2 middle linebackers is Denzel Perryman and Divine Diablo. That is run-stopping heaven right there. Nobody's running the fucking ball on that. Now, if you want pass rush, then change the game up a little bit. You put Max Crosby at 1-3-4 end. You put Chandler Jones at the outside linebacker. Then you put, I don't know, fucking Cleveland Ferrell and then Bilal Nichols at the nose. So you can have a lot of versatility with this front 7. I'm really, really liking the front 7. Kenny, where I'm not worried, but where I want to see another addition to is the back end, the defensive backs, whether it's in the draft with a Nick Cross or a Verone McKinley or a Tariq Woolen or a Kalen Barnes. I want us to add another good player in this defensive back room, whether it's bringing in fucking Tyrann Mathieu for whatever reason, whether it's bringing in Gilmore, right? Whether it's bringing in a Jimmy Smith for depth, or like I said, the guys that I just named. We want an above average secondary so that the secondary can help the pass rush. We already have an above average pass rush, and that'll help the secondary. So, overall, our defense is looking good. It is not looking great like the offense, but the defense is looking good. And in the hands of Patrick Graham, I have confidence. I have a lot of confidence. And this is without the draft. This is without the draft. I have us probably drafting 90% defense in the draft, but we'll see. Shout out to EJ. He says, I really want us to grab Jakoski Tart. Listen, EJ, if this was the last regime, we probably would have picked him up already. And the reason why I say that is because when he was a free agent in 2020, the Raiders actually called up Jakoski Tart and offered him more money than the Niners, but he took less money to stay with the Niners. So, as much as Jakoski, whatever, however the fuck you say his name is, would be a good pickup, he chose the Niners over us, bruh. He chose the Niners over us. So, for me, fuck him. Fuck him. Um, that's just how I'm feeling. That's just how I'm feeling. And sadly, the only other safety that I would have gotten free agency outside of Tyrann Mathieu was Deshaun Elliott. And Deshaun Elliott today signed with the Detroit Lions. Kind of sucks, but listen, that's one Maryland safety that we missed on. Let's go get the young Maryland safety, Nick Cross. Let's go do that. Let's go do that. And shout out to my brother Graf, working super hard behind the scenes, man. Shout out to my brother in the building, man. Leon, he says, I just love the fact that it will be game-to-game scheme, week-to-week. We were so fucking predictable in the past. I agree. I agree, Leon, and I'm extremely ecstatic and excited with you. Crusher says, yo, Andy, now it's pretty obvious the biggest addition to the Raiders this offseason was competent leadership. We wouldn't be this hype this offseason without it. I agree. I agree, Crusher, for sure. For sure. Yes, sir. The nation showing love. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. We cool off Tart. Yeah, I'm cool off, bro. I'm cool off, bro. Because the Raiders actually tried to get him 2 seasons ago or last season, last offseason. We tried to get him. He chose the Niners. So fuck him. Fuck him. So it is what it is. There was a deal in place for him. It was actually 2 years ago. There was a deal in place for him 2 years ago. He said, no, I'm choosing the Niners. So he's a good football player. I wouldn't mind if he was here, but nah, man. Nah. Nah, I'm good off that, really. But there were some safeties out there, right? Like I like Deron Harmon. A lot of people are forgetting Deron Harmon, bro, the last 6 seasons, and I know PFF isn't the greatest. I don't really like PFF, but for the last 6 seasons, Deron Harmon has had a coverage grade above 85. That is insane, man. That is completely insane. It shows how good he is on the back end, and you have to look at it. Deron Harmon was kind of a rotational piece over there in New England, but the last 2 years in Detroit and in Atlanta, he's been starters. So he's a guy that offers he's a guy that offers some good veteran presence there in the back end. Jacuzzi Pop Tart. Facts. We've added a few running backs. Who's the odd man out? Probably Regis. But we'll just stick Regis on the practice squad. I mean, you want to be under Paul Gunther? I get you, EJ. I get you, but I'm looking at more as like the motherfucker chose the Niners, bro. Like, fuck the Niners. That's how I'm feeling. That's really how I'm feeling. Like, bro, I'm in the Bay, bro. I'm in Oakland. Fuck the Niners, bro. Like, hell no. Nah. And for a dude to choose up like that, hell no. Let's see. No more run pass. Facts. No surrender says, did you touch on the 2023 opt-out in Carr's contract? Watch the media tries to say McDaniels isn't committed to Derek Carr. Listen, overall, it's a good business move. It's a good business move that Derek Carr agreed to. Derek Carr didn't sign because he was fucking blind and he just said, oh, I'm going to just sign my life away. No. Derek Carr knew what he was signing. His agent knew what he was signing. Ziegler and McDaniels and Champ Kelly knew what they were putting in front of him. Nobody signed that shit blind. Derek Carr said, The reason why he structured his contract the way he did was so that he did not have to feel another heartbreak. Okay? Simple as that. Simple as that. Um, Also, can the linebacker from the Titans guard tight ends? We get killed by Cook and Kelsey every game. Thankfully, Jared Cook is a free agent. I'm not sure why he hasn't gotten re-signed. Listen, Jared Cook, if you want to be a Raider, come back to the Raiders. I would love to have Jared Cook back in the silver and black. Simple as that. But damn, that hella just flowed. I'd love to have Jared Cook back in the silver and black. Simple as that. Shit. You know what, Graf? When we in Vegas, man, put me. No, I'm playing. I don't do no music, man. Fuck that shit. But yeah, we need to sign Sheldon Richardson. If we need to sign any defensive tackle, it's Eddie Goldman. That's the one we need to sign. So yeah. Let's see, bro. You and Wasted freaked the hell out first day of free agency, but it's all good. Funniest shit I've seen all offseason. Keep up the wild content. That's a fact. That's a fact. I was very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. But look where we at now. Patience is a virtue. Top beat sent Andy one. I thought we went back to the Chargers. What? Look, DC said he was willing to play for 19, so why wouldn't he take 24 guaranteed? Listen, man, he want to win. He wants to win. Omar said bars. Facts. But listen, y'all, we've been on here for over an hour already. I have to say this. We are only 100 subs away from 5,000 subscribers, you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. And if you're new to this channel and you like Raider content and you love the silver and black and you like different inputs and thoughts and opinions, hit that subscribe button. We drop quick videos, we drop lives. We do a lot of shit here, man. And I love and appreciate everybody who decides to support the channel. There will be memberships on this channel very, very soon. I just gotta fucking set it up. That's what I gotta do. But listen, you guys, I am going to head out for today, unless there's more crazy news. But on your way out, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment in the comment section down below. I read all the comments before I get into work in the morning, and I comment to the ones that I can. But as usual, I love to end the shows off this way. I love y'all, Raider Nation. I hope you guys stay safe. Enjoy your day. But love y'all, and I am out. Peace.